Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. We're continuing our focus on developments within the state. And remember, we're coming to you live from Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. We're joined now by the governor of the state, Godswill Akpabio. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we have this pension matter. Lots of states, too, have been mentioned. We've got states, there's the one of Kwara, when it came up, it was also controversial. We've had comments from Gombe, Jigawa, Lagos, all about pensions. The only thing that those who are writing about this seem to have left out is calling this an uncommon pension bill. What is going on with this bill?
Well, yeah, thank you for coming to Uyo. I'm always delighted to have you. And we are proud of what you are doing in Channels Television. To be honest with you, there is a laughable situation that people should generate controversy over the pension law. The pension law has been in existence in Akwa Ibom State, and I'm the one implementing it. So I wear the shoe, and I know where it pinches.
So the former governors,
yes,
they've all been getting
all the former elected governors and former elected deputy governors and their spouses have been enjoying the pension law. The pension law was first passed in the year 2000 and was further amended with certain provisions added in 2006. And when I came on board in 2007, we've been implementing it. It's part of the pension of the state. Just like you pay a civil servant, you also pay a former governor, a former deputy, and of course you comply with the other provisions of the law. So what the current law is saying is that all the former deputies and their governors are under the current pension. But this particular amendment will take effect from 1st of June. In other words, there is no gap. Whatever they were earning, whatever they were collecting, whatever was their pension on a monthly basis will cease to operate from 31st of May 2014. And then the current amendment will take effect from 1st of June. So it's really not a retroactive law, neither is it a new law. It's an existing law that went through amendment. But sometimes in legislative drafting, you can include a provision there where you have made some substantial amendments that says that the former law is hereby repealed, and then the current one will now take effect. That's why we may call it Pension Law of 2014. And of course, you know my tenure does not end in 2014. So the law is not meant for Godswill Akpabio. The law is meant to check certain excesses in the system. And I swore to oath to ensure that everything that I can do possibly to bring the greatest good to the greatest number of people, I should do so. And when I saw the lacunas in the law, I had to take up the issues with the leadership of the House of Assembly, and of course, they went to work. I know where the controversy is coming from. The bill has been politicized, and people have sponsored also write-offs in the internet. I will explain. First of all, in the operation of the old law, the old pension law, it is an open-ended thing that the medical bills of all past governors and past deputy governors and their spouses will be paid for by the state. So you have a situation...
Whatever the bill is.
Whatever the bill is. So you have a situation whereby I've seen bills where former deputies and their spouses will come to you. Maybe the wife wants 29 million, and they say, oh, they've sent in a bill from so-so hospital where they are going abroad, because the bill did not specify whether the hospital should be in Nigeria. But most of what I've seen so far as a governor in 7 years have been bills from abroad. And by the time you bring in a bill from abroad, and 50,000, 70,000, 170,000, sometimes 112,000 US dollars, and these things are, interpreted in Naira, I don't think there's any single former deputy and their spouse that will spend a minimum of 200 million in a year.
200 million?
In terms of medical bills. Of course, you cannot start now to say, why should somebody's bill be so high? Because you can also spend on beer. It depends on your state of health.
But medical bill is just one part of the
That's the aspect I'm talking about. That's one side. And so, for instance, we can't make politics out of people's health. You know, you've had instances in which past leaders and their spouses had major issues. And sometimes you get a bill where somebody says, oh, I had to hire a plane to fly my spouse out of Nigeria and therefore you have to pay. I've had instances in one go where I had to pay as much as 41 million naira.
Your Excellency, if I may come in here.
Yes.
Sorry to butt in. The bill, you said the bills you've seen so far are bills from abroad.
No, I'm saying that as the bills are sent, you have invoices that are attached, which is, for instance, somebody gets an invoice from a hospital in maybe Dubai or in London and says, oh, I'm going with my spouse for for cataracts, for glaucoma, for one thing or the other, and the total bill is, in Naira term, 39 million. That comes like once in a quarter, once in 2 months. And then by the time you do that 3-4 times in the year, the person would have expended far above 150 million. Now, that's only one. And then the law does not tell you to go and question these bills. The highest you will do is to set up a pro panel to go to the hospital and try to find out what was this. But at the same time, they will say it includes ESTA code. Oh, we are expected to stay 3 weeks. So if you don't have men of integrity, they can hide under the open-ended medical bill to go for their yearly holidays or monthly holidays abroad or quarterly holidays abroad in different parts of the world and come under medical bill. Okay. That's one side.
Let's clarifying that one side now. Couldn't the amendment have said, maybe put a caveat as regards where the medical treatment must be? Like saying you can't go outside the country, it has to be within Nigeria.
If you do so, there will be certain ailments that you don't have the equipment in the country to treat. For instance, how many hospitals in Nigeria do open heart surgeries? How many hospitals in Nigeria do liver transplants? These are elderly people who have retired. So if they need a liver transplant and you insist that it should be within Nigeria and there is no hospital offering it, it means you've condemned the person to death. So this is the situation. And what the bill is seeking to do is to try to place a ceiling so that before the person brings a bill to the government in a year, the person must actually be ill. And then there are years that not 1 naira of this money will be expended because the government is expected to pay this money to the hospitals. And so where you say, okay, for the spouse of a former deputy and the deputy and the former deputy himself, that you cannot spend about 50 million, interpret that in naira. That means you can't go above 250 to 280,000 US dollars in a year. And that means that the person has to be careful. Before you can submit a bill to government, you must actually be ill. So that you don't end up submitting bills to government, then you exhaust what is available that could help you in terms of emergency. So there are many, for instance, like a healthy governor like Godswill Akpabio. I would not expect that I retire next year from government and I start sending bills to government on medical. No. It means that for at least 3-5 years, God willing, I may not benefit from 1 naira of this so-called 100 million. It only means that in the event of uncertainty, in the event of circumstances that I need to go for major medical operation, and the ceiling the government can contribute will be 100 million.
I think we'll get on the picture now. So
yes.
It's not a bill or it's not monies set aside that you must take, whether you fall ill or not.
No.
It's money for you. So you must be ill and you must show evidence that you're ill before
and the money will be paid
before you can access that.
Before you can access that money.
So why is it paid? Is it paid to you directly?
No, it will be paid to the hospital. That's even before now. It was paid directly to the account of the beneficiaries. Up to May 2014, I've been paying it since 2007. So it covers even people who were elected under Cross River State. So even the former governor of Cross River State, Donald Letebe, who comes from Akwa Ibom, who is alive, the medical bill covers him. The pension law covers him.
Until this...
It still covers him up to this moment I'm talking. He receives pension under that law. So the law covers everybody. It covers up to the period of those who served in Cross River State. It covers even in the military regime of His Excellency Ibrahim Babangida for military for governors that were elected. And so I paid medical bills for the late Ibom and may soul rest in peace under that, and also paid his monthly stipends as enshrined in the law. And then, of course, what happened was, by the time Ibom and died, I'm sorry to bring this up, I'm just giving you like a live example. We took care of the entirety of his medical bills throughout his lifetime from 2007 when I became a governor, under that law. But I now found out a lacuna. Whilst he was alive, the wife was also enjoying free medical treatment, paid for by government under that bill. or under that law. But immediately after his death, we ceased to assist the wife because the bill does not make provision for continuity when it comes to after the death of the person who occupied the office. So under the
amendment,
the current amendment, we made a provision to enable us give 1 million, a ceiling of 1 million naira a month for the spouse of a dead deputy, or the spouse of course, for the spouse of a dead deputy, 500,000 naira in a month. For the spouse of a dead governor, 1 million naira in a month as a ceiling to assist in medical expenses. Why did we do that? Because we realized that after the death of the husband, the woman may not even have 100,000 naira to go to hospital. So under the current amendment, from 1st of June, if she's sick, she can submit a bill to the tune of 1 million naira in a month. In terms of medical bills. And then the deputy governor's wife can also submit a bill up to the tune of 500,000 naira in a month only. And that bill will be paid directly to the hospital.